Okay, everyone, let's try take two with all of you guys' great suggestions, and I thank you for that. I think between all of them, we come up with an idea. And we're going to try and solve three problems. The main problem is we want it to hold together, and I think we got a solution for that. The other two minor problems is the appearance, because I would like to see the vegetables instead of pureeing them like I did in the blender. And because of the solution to number one, I think we can use whole vegetables or chopped up vegetables. And let's see, what was the third one? The third one was that it was dry, that sucked the moisture out of your mouth. And although it was edible and tasted quite good, because it was so airy and soft, and as I showed you, it crumbled so easily, that wicked the moisture out of your mouth real quick. And I think, again, by solving problem one to where it makes it more crunchy, that is going to solve that problem too. My solution is going to be with my Agar Agar powder. And I've used this in a few videos before. The one that comes to mind is my pumpkin pie squares, and I made that without baking the pumpkin pie, but using Agar Agar, and you would not know that it wasn't a baked pumpkin pie. That was really good. You ought to check that one out. The beauty about the Agar Agar is I freeze dried that, and then I powderized the pumpkin pie mixture, you know, with all the spices and all that stuff in it. I freeze dried that with that, you know, mix it up with the Agar Agar, and after I powderized it, you can reconstitute it by adding water, put it on the stove and bring it up to boiling, and then it'll set just like a fresh pumpkin pie, just as creamy. You really need to look at that if you haven't checked that one out. And also, I think I did maraschino cherry mixed fruit cocktail squares, and I think I used Agar Agar on that. I've used it on a few, and it's a really neat product. And that's on my Amazon store page if you want to look at that. I think you can get it at Asian stores as well. What that is for those that don't know, is gelatin is, what is that? You know, like Knox, that's like horse hooves or something, I don't know. But Agar Agar is seaweed based. It's based from seaweed, has no taste, no color, no flavor, and it's really good stuff. It's good for you too. Alright, so for this salad we are going to, I bought the shredded lettuce, thinking that the leaves were too big for my molds. So we're going to go with shredded lettuce. I got one bell pepper that I've chopped up, and about 2/3 of a little 8-ounce container of grape tomatoes. We'll see if I use all those. And we're going to chop up this, instead of the turkey, which was a real thin slice, I'm going to cube this classic ham steak, which is 98% fat free from Walmart. So we're going to put some cube stuff, so we should have more of a salad looking product. And then obviously the zesty Italian. I think I'm only going to use one of these packets, and I'll explain that process, how I'm going to do that with the Agar Agar at the end. So let's get the salad mixed up. This is just a 1-pound bag. We're going to dump in one whole green bell pepper. And I might put some more tomatoes in there, because that, once they came out of that vacuum bag, I got more lettuce than I thought I was going to get, and put these cherry tomatoes in there. Give that a toss and see what we end up with looking like. I've got some more of those tomatoes. I think I'll put some more in there. These aren't cherry tomatoes. I'm sorry, they're grape tomatoes. Alright, So let's do the ham. Cube that. And how much was that? 8-ounce ham of ham. Alright, let's give that a toss. That's a nice looking salad. Okay, let's get my molds. The beauty of these molds is, look how they fit right in the Harvest Right tray, freeze dryer tray, so I can just take that to the freezer and put it in the freezer. Now, I went overboard on my last load. What I need is 8 salad bars for my meal in a Mylar bag coming up, and that's going to be my appetizer. So I need 8 for that, and then probably 2 to do a taste test, maybe 3. So I'm just going to fill these up. Maybe 10 of them, maybe 11, I don't know, we'll see. Whatever I freeze dry, I need to fit on one tray, because I need the other space for my other items, which I'm keeping secret right now. Nice stuff out here, and put in each one of these, make sure they get plenty of tomatoes. And John's going to have plenty of salad for dinner, which I love a salad. Okay, I'll put this off to the side, and that'll be my dinner. Now, I've already got some of this sharp cheddar open, so I'm going to use that first. Alright, let's sort that out again. Get that all in everywhere. This way we'll see all the lettuce leaves and vegetables. I think this might turn out all around really good, really well, my grandma would say. And put some bacon bits on the top. Imitation bacon bits. What do you think? Does that look good or what? Alright, let's get this put away. So there we have our salad. Does that look good? I'm going to put this off to the side, and we're going to make our dressing for that. So the directions on this, we're going to change a little bit, and I'll explain why. You're supposed to use a 1/4 cup of water with 3 tablespoons, a 1/4 cup of vinegar and 3 tablespoons of water. Mix this dressing in with it, get it all mixed up, and then add 1/2 cup of oil. And if you want less oil, then you would use a 1/4 cup of oil and 1/4 more cup of water for the 1/2 cup. So a total of 3/4 of a cup of liquid plus the 3 tablespoons, but we're going to disregard that as well. So it's just 3/4 of a cup of liquid. Now if I make that to that recipe and I put that on those little squares and I fill them up, that dressing is going to be overpowering, because it's made to go over a much bigger salad, probably like that whole bowl, you know, the big bowl that I had. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use one packet, but I'm going to double all the liquids, so that's watered down. I hope that makes sense to you. But what that'll do is that'll basically cut the flavoring in half, but fill the each mold with the gelatin. So that's what we're looking for. So that works out to be 1 cup water, 1/2 cup vinegar. So 1/2 cup vinegar, 1 cup water, and 1 pouch. Now hopefully that's going to make enough to fill all those molds. If not, I got another pouch and we'll make another batch. So let's just give that a mix. I'm not too worried about it, because with Agar Agar we're going to have to heat this up anyway. So Agar Agar powder, I have an open pouch here. I don't want to open another pouch. I always got some of this on hand. The formula for making gelatin is 1 teaspoon of powder to 1 cup of liquid. So we used 1.5 cups of liquid, so we're going to use 1.5 teaspoons of Agar Agar powder. And this is 1/4 teaspoon, so help you count with me. 1/4, 6/4. Alright, put that off to the side. Now we're going to put this on, let's go medium heat until it, we're going to bring this to a boil and then simmer that for 5 minutes. Inductive stoves are lovely, I really love that, but you got to use the right kind of pan. That's better. Alright, so we just bring this to a boil. Okay, so that's starting to boil, so we're just going to stir this periodically just to keep things mixed up. And we're going to do that for 5 minutes. I think from the research that I did, the temperature of the Agar Agar in the liquid has to get to 175 degrees for it to activate. But they say the hotter the better that you could get it without burning anything. The hotter the better, because that gives you more time to work with it. Because it'll start setting at, what'd they say? 115 or something like that. It starts setting. If you want a beautiful thing about this Agar Agar, I'll tell you while I'm mixing this up, we're heating this up, is you can mix it with just about anything, chocolate or anything, and it'll set up. And unlike gelatin, like Knox, you got to put it in the refrigerator. This gels at 100 and I think it's 120, but it stay at room temperature. It stays as a gel, like a Jello. So it's really cool. You ought just Google YouTube. Go on YouTube and look up Agar Agar, and look at all the beautiful things that the Orientals, the Asians, make with it. They are truly artists with their Agar Agar. They make some beautiful things with it. The problem with using Agar Agar and freeze drying, same with gelatin, is when we freeze dry it, it goes cloudy. So you don't see through it and see all the pretty things inside, but the Asians, they make some really neat stuff inside the gelatin, and this will be clear if you don't add any coloring to it, and you can see through it. Beautiful stuff they come up with. Okay, that's been 5 minutes. Now before I put that on here, I'm gonna let that cool down. And I don't want to cook or melt my cheese or anything like that, so I'm gonna let it cool down to where it won't burn or melt my or wilt my lettuce. So we'll let it cool down before it starts to set. Alright, so we'll see in about, I don't know. I got to keep an eye on it, so I'll see you when it's cooled down enough to pour on that. Okay, I'll let that cool down for about 10 minutes. Give that a stir. Split it into 2 cups so it'd cool down quicker. And I looked that up while I was waiting, and it's 113 degrees it starts setting up. Now I'm just going to fill these up. Hopefully I got enough without mixing another batch, but if I have to, I have to. I will certainly let you know. This Anchor Hawking pours a lot better than the Pyrex. I noticed that the other day. I'm definitely going to have to make some more. I'm trying to drizzle this over everything on the top, so at least it gets a little coating of the gelatin. It looks like I got exactly half of that. So for everybody watching, it's 2 packets of these will get you 10 of the molds. So I'll do the rest of this off camera. I'll pop these in the freezer, get them frozen solid, and they'll go in my next load, and you'll see them when they come out. Wish me luck. Okay, we got those packaged away. Let's see what these bars taste like. So eye appeal, I think they're way more appealing. They're still light. They got a crunch to them. But the beauty of these is that it's got the leaves and everything in it. Still a little bit delicate, but they definitely hold together much better. They taste very, very good. Just like a salad. But you will definitely want a glass of water, because it still takes the moisture out of your mouth. Definitely very tasty. They just want to dissolve in your mouth. And I'm definitely happy with putting those as an appetizer. To my meal. I think the Italian dressing is very strong still. And what I did was I doubled up the liquid to make that. And I'm definitely going to eat these. These are definitely good. But next time I do them, I'm going to triple, 3 times the amount of liquid to 1 packet of the seasoning. And I think I explained that in the video why I was adding more liquid, because we have to totally soak this in liquid. So if you really concentrate that liquid and soak these, number 1, you're going to use tons of packets of seasoning. But number 2, all that seasoning is going to be in 1 bar, and you would really want to spread that seasoning over, say, a whole large bowl of salad if you're pouring the lettuce on or the salad dressing on all that lettuce. So 3 times the liquid, and you can't go wrong. And when I write up my recipe, I'm going to write it up with 3 times the liquid. This is 2 times, but it's just a little bit strong. But the bacon bits, the cheese, the tomatoes, the green pepper, I love freeze-dried green pepper, it's all there. Of course, if you didn't want any dressing on it at all and you just wanted plain salad with no dressing, you could do 3 times the liquid. I'd have to, I can't remember off the top of my head how much liquid I used, but no, don't add the seasoning to it. Just remember the Agar Agar is 1 teaspoon per 1 cup of liquid. You could use water and just plain old water. And you would get a gelatin that is unflavored that would hold it all together like this did. There you have it though. John and Bibbs, a more perfect salad bar. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed following me on this experiment. And if you try it, let me know about your successes. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.